Have you ever felt it? That chilling, hollow space where warm conversations used to be. Have you known the quiet panic that sets in when their texts become shorter, their calls less frequent, their presence a fading echo in your day? You find yourself staring at your phone, a prisoner to a small, glowing screen, replaying every last interaction in your mind. You dissect every word, every pause, every emoji, searching for a clue, a mistake, a reason for the sudden distance. It's a silent torment, a battlefield within your own mind where self-doubt and anxiety are the relentless aggressors. Your every instinct, honed by a society that tells you to fight for what you want, screams at you to do something. Send that text. Make that call. Ask what's wrong. Show them how much you care. Prove your worth. We are taught that effort is noble, that persistence is a virtue. But in the complex chess match of human connection and attraction, what if this very instinct is a trap? What if your heartfelt effort is perceived as desperation? What if your persistence is seen as a lack of self-worth? The Stoic philosophers, masters of the human soul who lived over 2 millennia ago, understood a profound and counterintuitive truth. They knew that in many of life's most critical moments, true strength is not found in action, but in restraint. Real power is not demonstrated by loud declarations, but by quiet composure. They taught that the world outside of us, the actions, opinions, and feelings of others, is ultimately beyond our command. But the world within us, our mind, our judgment, our response, that is our kingdom. And it is in the mastery of this inner kingdom that we become truly free, truly powerful, truly untouchable. This video is for the one who is tired of feeling powerless. It is for the one who is done playing games they don't understand and tired of chasing a validation that is always just out of reach. Today, we embark on a journey. We will not learn new tactics to play a better game. Instead, we will learn to rise above the game itself. We will explore the Stoic art of silence, not the passive, fearful silence of one who has given up, but the active, deliberate, and powerful silence of one who has taken back control. Stay with me, because by the time this message concludes, you will understand that the goal is not simply to make them miss you or to make them chase you. The true victory is far greater. It is the complete transformation of the self into a person who no longer needs to be chased, because your own life, your own purpose, and your own inner peace have become the ultimate prize. In that silence, you will find more than a strategy. You will find yourself. And the results of that discovery will speak so loudly, you will never have to say a word. Section 1, The Anatomy of the Chase, Why Your Reaction is Her Expectation. To understand why silence is so profoundly effective, we must first dissect the very nature of the game you've been unknowingly playing. When a person pulls away, they are creating a dynamic of tension. Whether consciously or unconsciously, they are initiating a test. It is a test of your emotional fortitude, your self-respect, and your inner stability. They withdraw their warmth, their attention, their validation, and then they wait. They watch. They are waiting for you to react. In her mind, the script is already written. She anticipates the flood of concerned texts, the questioning phone calls, the subtle pleas for attention on social media. She expects you to try to fill the void she has created, because that is what most people do. This reaction, this chase, is the currency of her validation. Every time you ask, "Is everything okay?" or "Did I do something wrong?" you are feeding her ego, confirming her power, and solidifying her control over the dynamic. You are, in essence, telling her, "Your attention is my oxygen. Without it, I cannot breathe." This is not a condemnation of her character, it is a fundamental aspect of human psychology. We are all, to some extent, driven by a need for validation. The trap, however, lies in where you seek that validation. A study by psychologist Peter Gollwitzer at New York University found that people who publicly announced their goals were less likely to achieve them. Why? Because the very act of announcing the goal and receiving social recognition for it gave their brain a premature dopamine hit, satisfying the urge before any real work was done. Chasing someone who has pulled away works on a similar, more destructive principle. The act of chasing is a public declaration of your goal, to win her back. When you double text, you are performing your desire. When you overanalyze and seek advice from friends, you are broadcasting your emotional dependency. Your mind is so focused on the performance of trying to get her back that it has no energy left for the actual foundation of attraction, being a self-sufficient, high-value individual. The Stoics referred to this as the trap of the ego. When we act from a place of ego, we are not guided by reason but by emotional impulse. The ego feels slighted by her withdrawal. It feels a loss of control, a blow to its sense of worth. And so, it reacts impulsively to reclaim that control and soothe its wound. But as the great Stoic Emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Chasing is the futile attempt to control an outside event, her feelings. It is an act of profound weakness because it places the source of your emotional well-being entirely in her hands. Think of it this way. Imagine you are building a magnificent house in the woods. You lay a single brick, feel a surge of pride, and immediately run to the village to tell everyone about the brick you laid. You seek their applause and admiration. The next day, you lay another brick, and again, you run to the village. Compliments become your rest stops. Doubts from others become stones in your path. You spend more energy talking about the house than building it. The foundation will never be finished. This is the man who chases. His focus is scattered, his energy wasted on seeking approval for his efforts rather than on the effort itself. He lives in the eyes of others. Now, imagine a different man. He goes into the woods and lays a brick. Then another. And another. He works in silence. He doesn't seek validation. He isn't concerned with who is watching. He is driven not by the need for applause, but by the vision of the finished house. Day after day, brick by brick, the structure rises. One day, people from the village are walking through the woods and stumble upon a magnificent, completed home. They are in awe. The house itself says everything that needs to be said. Its existence is the ultimate statement. This is the man who embodies Stoic silence. He understands that real strength doesn't make noise. His worth is not determined by her reaction, but by his own consistent, focused action on what he can control, himself. When she pulls back and you react by chasing, you are playing the role she expected. You are predictable. And in the world of attraction, predictability is the enemy of desire. You confirm her hypothesis that you need her more than she needs you. But when you refuse to play that role, when you meet her silence with your own calm, powerful silence, the entire script is thrown into chaos. You have introduced an unknown variable. You have broken the pattern. And in doing so, you force her to question everything she thought she knew about you, and about her own power. Section 2, The Weaponization of Silence, Forging a Fortress in the Mind. Silence, in this context, is not emptiness. It is not a void. It is a force. It is an active, conscious choice to reclaim your energy and redirect it inward. When you meet her withdrawal with silence, you are not simply ignoring her, you are creating a psychological vacuum. Human nature abhors a vacuum. When you cease to provide the energy, the texts, the reactions, the attention she has come to expect, you create a space that she is compelled to fill with her own thoughts, her own anxieties, and her own questions. This is where the power dynamic begins its seismic shift. Your silence is a mirror, reflecting her own actions back at her. Without your panicked reactions to distract her, she is left alone with the reality of her own behavior. She is forced to confront the consequences of her withdrawal. The questions that once plagued your mind now begin to echo in hers. Why hasn't he texted? Is he not bothered by this? Did I go too far? Is he, moving on? This last question is the most terrifying for her, and the most powerful for you. It is the seed of doubt that your silence expertly plants in the soil of her confidence. The Stoics taught a principle known as the dichotomy of control. It is the practice of clearly distinguishing between what is within your power and what is not. You cannot control her feelings, her actions, or her decisions. Wasting energy on these things is, as Seneca wrote, a form of self-inflicted suffering. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. By chasing, you are suffering in your imagination, creating scenarios of loss and desperation. But your thoughts, your actions, and your responses, these are entirely within your control. The practice of Stoic silence is a direct application of this dichotomy. You consciously choose to stop wasting energy on what you cannot control, her, and reinvest it into what you can control, yourself. This is a critical distinction. This isn't the weak, passive silence of someone who is hurt and pouting. That kind of silence is still a reaction, it reeks of emotional turmoil. The Stoic silence is different. It is a calm, centered, and powerful state. It is the silence of a man who is busy. Busy building his empire. Busy hitting the gym. Busy pursuing his purpose. Busy living a life that is so engaging and fulfilling that her absence is not a catastrophe, but a minor inconvenience. His world does not revolve around her, and so, when she steps away, his world does not stop spinning. Consider the analogy of a lighthouse. The lighthouse stands on the shore, tall and unwavering. It does not chase after ships that drift away into the fog. It does not dim its light in despair when a ship fails to notice its presence. It simply stands, rooted to its foundation, and shines its light consistently. Its power lies in its steadfastness, its unshakable presence. Ships that are lost look for the lighthouse. They navigate by its reliable, constant beam. When you practice Stoic silence and focus on your own growth, you become the lighthouse. Your silence is the unwavering foundation. Your self-improvement, your purpose, your inner peace, that is your light. You stop being a lost ship, tossed about by the waves of her emotions, and you become the fixed point by which she, and others, begin to navigate. She might have sailed away into the fog of her own uncertainty, but when she looks back, she will not see you chasing her. She will see your light, shining brightly, perhaps even more brightly than before. And she will be forced to wonder if she is the one who is now lost at sea. This is not a game of manipulation. It is a demonstration of self-respect. You are communicating, without words, the most powerful message of all: my peace is not negotiable. My purpose is not dependent on your presence. I control my inner world, and you are welcome to be a part of it, but it will continue to thrive with or without you. When she feels this shift, not through your words, but through your energy, through your complete and utter non-reaction, her sense of control shatters. The doubt that was once a seed begins to sprout, and the unraveling of her certainty begins. Section 3, The Unraveling, Her Journey into Self-Doubt and the Fear of Loss. The human mind is a meaning-making machine. It desperately seeks to understand cause and effect, to create a narrative that makes sense of the world. Her narrative was simple: I am the prize. If I pull back, he will chase, because he recognizes my value and fears losing me. This narrative is comforting, it reinforces her sense of desirability and control. Your silence shatters this narrative. It presents a new, jarring piece of information that does not fit her established reality. He is not chasing. Therefore, what? This what is the beginning of cognitive dissonance, the mental discomfort experienced when holding two or more contradictory beliefs. Her two contradictory beliefs are: I am the prize that he should chase. He is not chasing me. To resolve this discomfort, her mind must change one of the beliefs. Since your actions are a hard reality she cannot change, she is forced to reevaluate the first belief. The question shifts from, why isn't he chasing me, to, was I wrong about my value to him, and, more terrifyingly, was I wrong about his value? This is the moment her focus shifts from you to herself. She begins a process of introspection, but it is one fueled by anxiety, not calm reflection. She starts replaying your last interactions, but this time, she's not looking for your mistakes, she's looking for hers. Did she misread the situation? Did she underestimate you? Did she take you for granted? This internal spiral is amplified by one of the most powerful psychological triggers, scarcity and the fear of missing out, FOMO. As long as you were available, chasing her, and validating her, you were abundant. There was no risk in letting you wait. But the moment you go silent and focus on your own life, you become a scarce resource. Your attention, once freely given, is now unavailable. Suddenly, the possibility of losing you becomes real, and your perceived value skyrockets. It's the same reason a limited edition product is more desirable, or why we suddenly want something the moment we're told we can't have it. Her casual confidence that she could have you whenever she wanted is replaced by a gnawing fear that she may have lost you forever. This is the point where her behavior begins to change visibly. Her focus, once scattered, now becomes laser-focused on you, even in your absence. This is where you will notice the social media surveillance. She starts watching your stories, not just casually, but perhaps being the first one to view them. She's looking for clues. Are you out with other people? Do you look happy? Is your life improving without her? Every post becomes a piece of a puzzle she is desperately trying to solve. The digital footprints, she might accidentally like a very old photo. This is not an accident. It is a calculated, low-risk probe. It's her way of knocking on your door to see if anyone is home, without having to actually speak. The consultation with her inner circle, she will go to her friends for advice. The same friends who likely encouraged her power move will now be part of her feedback loop of doubt. He still hasn't reached out. Are you sure you didn't mess up? Maybe he met someone else. Their uncertainty will fuel her own, creating a powerful echo chamber of regret. While this storm rages in her mind, what is happening in yours? This is where the Stoic path truly diverges from a mere tactic. If you were just playing a game, you would be anxiously waiting for these signs, celebrating them as victories. But the true practitioner of Stoicism is not concerned with her storm, because he is busy fortifying his own inner citadel. He practices memento mori, the reflection on the impermanence of all things. He knows that relationships, like life itself, are transient. This doesn't make him nihilistic, it makes him appreciate the present and not cling desperately to what is not guaranteed. He practices amor fati, a love of his fate. He accepts his current reality, not with resignation, but with a powerful embrace. This situation, he thinks, is exactly what I need to forge my character, to build my resilience, to focus on my purpose. His silence is not a performance for her benefit. It is an authentic expression of his inner state. He is genuinely moving on, not because he is trying to make a point, but because his philosophy demands it. His life's mission is greater than the approval of any single person. This authentic detachment is what makes the strategy so devastatingly effective. She senses it. She feels that this is not a game. She feels that she has genuinely lost something of value. The man she thought was predictable and controllable has revealed himself to be a man of profound inner strength and unwavering purpose. A man who lives by a code. And that realization transforms her doubt into a desperate urge to act before it's too late. Section 4, The Inevitable Test, Resisting the Breadcrumbs and Owning Your Power. After a period of your unwavering silence, her internal pressure will reach a boiling point. The combination of self-doubt, fear of loss, and cognitive dissonance will compel her to act. But she will almost never act directly. Her pride and ego, though bruised, are still intact. She will not call you and pour her heart out, admitting her mistake and begging for another chance. That would be too vulnerable, too much of a surrender of power. Instead, she will try to regain control through a series of low-investment, low-risk tests. These are what we call breadcrumbs. They are small, insignificant morsels of attention designed to get a reaction from you, to see if you are still emotionally hooked, to gauge if you are still waiting in the wings. Her goal is to get you to break the silence first, thereby shifting the power back to her. You must learn to recognize these breadcrumbs for what they are, traps. They are not genuine signs of interest, they are ego-driven probes. Here is a field guide to the most common tests you will face. The vague, hey, the most common and laziest of all tests. A simple, hey, hi, or, what's up? It is completely devoid of effort and substance. It places all the onus on you to carry the conversation. Responding to this rewards her for her minimal effort and signals that you've just been waiting for her to text. The story reply, she replies to one of your social media stories with a single emoji, fire, or a short comment like, nice view, or LOL. Again, this is a low-effort way to enter your space without having to initiate a real conversation. It feels casual, but it is a calculated move to elicit a response. The accidental text, she sends a text that was meant for someone else. For example, can't wait to see you tonight, followed a minute later by, oops, sorry, wrong person. This is a transparent and manipulative attempt to make you jealous and force you to ask questions. The nostalgia bait, she will text you something that references a shared memory or an inside joke. Just drove past that restaurant we went to, thought of you. This is designed to pull on your emotional strings, to remind you of the good times, and weaken your resolve. The problem probe, she will text you with a minor problem, seeking your advice or help. My laptop is acting weird, you know about these things, right? This attempts to re-establish your old dynamic, positioning you as the reliable provider or problem solver, and thus, still invested in her well-being. The undisciplined man, the man operating from ego and scarcity, will see any of these breadcrumbs as a sign of hope. She's thinking of me. This is my chance. He will reply enthusiastically, trying to restart the conversation, and in doing so, he will walk straight into the trap. The moment he replies, she has her answer. He's still there. He's still an option. Her anxiety is soothed. Her ego is validated. And just as quickly as she appeared, she will disappear again, leaving him once more in a state of confusion and frustration. She has successfully reset the game to her advantage. The Stoic response is to treat these breadcrumbs with the indifference they deserve. Your mind, as Marcus Aurelius would advise, should be a fortress, an inner citadel. These tests are merely pebbles being thrown against your walls. You observe them, you understand their nature, and you do not give them the power to breach your peace. Your silence must continue. Your non-reaction must be absolute. Because you understand a critical truth, a woman who genuinely regrets losing you and wants you back will not send breadcrumbs. She will send a clear, unambiguous, and vulnerable message. A sincere message looks fundamentally different. It involves directness. She will state her intentions clearly. I've been thinking about us. Vulnerability. She will admit her feelings or her mistake. I miss you, or I'm sorry for how I acted. Effort. She will make a real attempt to start a meaningful conversation, not just a one-word probe. Until you receive a message that meets this standard of sincerity, anything else is noise. It is a test of your frame. And every time you ignore a breadcrumb, you pass the test. You communicate through your inaction that you will not be baited, you will not play these games, and your attention must be earned through genuine effort, not cheap tricks. This is the ultimate assertion of your self-worth. It is a silent declaration that says, my time and energy are valuable, and I will not give them away to someone who is unwilling to invest their own. By refusing to take her bait, you hold your ground, solidify your power, and force her to make a real choice, step up with sincerity or walk away for good. Either outcome is a victory for you. Conclusion, the true victory, becoming the man you were meant to be. We have journeyed through the intricate psychology of attraction, the void of silence, and the tests of a wavering ego. But it is crucial, in these final moments, to zoom out and understand the true purpose of this Stoic path. The goal was never just to get the girl back. That is a small, short-sighted prize. The true victory, the grand prize, is the man you become in the process. It is a profound paradox. The very moment you stop chasing her is the moment you start attracting her. But by the time she is ready to be attracted, by the time she finally breaks and reaches out with the sincerity you demand, you may realize you no longer want her. Not out of spite or revenge, but because you have fundamentally changed. You have outgrown the person you were when the game began. Your standards have risen. Your vision for your life has expanded. You are no longer the man who would have tolerated her tests and uncertainty in the first place. This is the ultimate power shift. You have completed a total transformation. Think of your journey. It began with the pain of external dependency, where your emotional state was dictated by her actions. You then moved to the practice of Stoic silence, a conscious withdrawal of energy to reclaim your focus. During that silence, you did not simply wait. You built. You reinvested that reclaimed energy into yourself, your body, your mind, your purpose. You became the man who goes into the woods and builds his house, brick by brick. You learned to observe her tests, the breadcrumbs, not with anxiety, but with the calm, analytical mind of a strategist, recognizing them as traps for the undisciplined. And through this entire process, you forged what the Stoics called an inner citadel, a fortress of self-respect, resilience, and emotional detachment that is impervious to the whims of others. You have mastered yourself. And a man who is master of himself is not easily swayed. He does not seek validation because he generates it internally. He does not fear loss because he knows his own worth is constant. He does not play games because he is too busy building his reality. This is the man she regrets losing. This is the man she will compare all others to. But more importantly, this is the man you will look at in the mirror with undeniable pride. You have learned that your value is not a reflection in someone else's eyes, but a fire lit from within. So, the journey ends where it began, with a choice. You can continue to be a pawn in someone else's game, reacting to their moves, your happiness rising and falling with their attention. Or you can choose to become the master of your own inner world. You can choose the path of Stoic discipline, of quiet strength, of unshakable self-worth. Your power is not in what you say to her. It is in what you do for yourself. It is not in your reaction, but in your deliberate, powerful, and transformative non-reaction. If this message has resonated with you, if you feel a shift within you, and if you are ready to stop chasing and start leading your own life, then commit to this new path. Subscribe to BAudio for more deep dives into Stoic wisdom, self-mastery, and the art of building an unconquerable mind. Like this video to help this message find its way to other men who need to hear that their power is not lost, but waiting to be reclaimed. And finally, go to the comments section and make a declaration. Not to me, not to the world, but to yourself. Write, I am the prize. Type it. Own it. Let it be the first brick in the foundation of the untouchable man you are now building.